Hey guys, Legendary Grimlock here, and welcome to a redo. Sort of. I've done this a couple years back, but today we have Neji Hyuga versus Danny Rand Iron Fist. I know what happened currently to Danny Rand and where he lost it, but he will have it in this video. So let's talk about Iron Fist's AP here. Iron Fist's AP actually is very interesting when it comes to his Iron Fist here. He's been able to knock out Ragnarok, which is a robotic clone of Thor. This Ragnarok was able to kill Bill Foster, Goliath, and Luke Cage. This is impressive for several reasons here, because Luke Cage is on par with the Thing, if not slightly below, but not by a significant strength margin. And Danny's Iron Fist here, or at least his chi manipulation, if you will, allows him to do plethora of things. He can turn them into, amplify his strength and increase his speed as well. Speaking of speed, Danny is around the supersonic to hypersonic margin, with him being able to keep up with Spider-Man repeatedly, being able to surprise and even, blitz a Phoenix Force Namor, or at least get the drop on him. So this is actually pretty impressive. He's even on par with characters like Wolverine, albeit this was a sparring match. If they went all out, I'm not sure who would really win. It's actually pretty close in my opinion, because Danny's Iron Fist could possibly block Wolverine's adamantium claws. So again, it's ridiculously impressive here. But Danny's speed should be able to consistently scale to characters like Spider-Man, Wolverine, and so on and so forth. So you could possibly put him at the relativistic to faster than light speeds here. But again, being realistically here, he should be around the hypersonic to maybe even close to the relativistic speeds here. Danny is also incredibly skilled. Actually could be considered the second best fighter in the Marvel Universe, considering how he's confirmed he's below Shang-Chi. And he's been able to go hand to hand with characters like Elektra, Wolverine, and many others as well. Gorgon as well. Sabretooth, characters that have exceptional skill in hand-to-hand combat prowess. However, if he is forced into a corner, he will use his chi manipulation to gain the upper hand on them. And what makes this impressive, that in Marvel, characters like Elektra and Shang-Chi have been able to use their skill to take down opponents that should be way above their weight class. Elektra has been able to take down Tiger Shark, Whiplash, and Freezer. Tiger Shark is a Namor villain, and both Whiplash and Freezer are Iron Man villains. He's even been able to take out Crossbones, who was a Captain America villain. So again, Elektra is no joke. And with Shang-Chi, he's been able to paralyze the Thing, even being able to take hits and use it for techniques against characters like Heroim and Black Dwarf. But enough of that. Let's go into his opponent, Neji Hyuga. Neji is I would have to say, prodigy of the Hyuga clan, and knows the Gentle Fist better than other members of the Hyuga, even some of the head family members as well. Neji's Gentle Fist technique is actually so deadly that it targets the nervous system in the opponent's body. It targets the pressure points, or the chakra points, in an opponent's body, and this allows him to pretty much see it, and then they're able to accurately hit every pressure point in your body, to the point where their bleed pretty much causes internal damage here. What makes this impressive is that he's able to literally just bypass the durability of his opponents, even being able to send opponents flying like Kisame, with Kisame being a character that can tank island level damage. Yeah, so it's absolutely ridiculous how powerful and how ridiculously broken Neji's technique actually is, but yet Naruto doesn't even use it all like that. Neji also possesses the Byakugan, an ability that allows him to read an opponent's chakra, or pretty much read their opponent's powers and abilities. And Neji actually is capable of understanding this, which also gives him an IQ advantage over a lot of his opponents. For example, characters like Kidomaru, which were pretty much one of the smarter opponents or smartest characters in the series, now remember I said one of them, not the smartest character in the series, just one of them, was able to deduce how the Byakugan works in that it had a blind spot. However, Neji was still able to go on and defeat him and explain that he used his blind spot to kind of bait him in order to take that kind of shot so that he could get an internal damage shot through the webs of Kidomaru. So again, Neji being able to do something like that just based off already seeing with his Byakugan kind of shows that he's able to deduce someone, or at least deduce someone's abilities and powers, and is able to go on to pretty much just own the fight after that. Once he really knows what you're capable of, he then owns the fight. One of his most offensive moves is rotation, a ability, or at least pretty much a gentle fist technique, right? That pretty much covers everything Neji has, even his blind spot. It gives Neji a full 360-degree rotation, and this allows him to not only be able to block everything his opponent has, from piercing attacks to pretty much anything that's probably going to get him, but also allows him to, also allows him to redirect the opponent's energy back onto them, especially if it's like chakra or chi based. So let's begin here. Let's really talk about who do I think wins this battle more often than not. And in all honesty, this comes down to kind of their advantages here. I do think in physical makeup, in terms of like, strength, durability, and speed here, they're both around the same here. I really do believe that they're both around the same here, with Danny holding the slight edge in speed due to the characters he scales to. However, I do think Neji has the deadlier technique. He has a deadlier fighting style, and I do say he is more skilled than Danny here. I do believe that he is more skilled than Danny. And then it's just how the fight goes here, even in a morals off perspective here. The thing about this is Neji's technique is like a surgical blade, right? While Danny's is pretty much a blunt force attack here. It's no different than, honestly, it's no different than Rock Lee and Might Guy's style, except he's just using chi manipulation to attack an opponent here. But let's say, oh, well, Legendary, what if Danny, just full throttle, goes for a blitz and tries to use the Iron Fist? Okay, Neji can still perceive him with the Byakugan, and it would be easier for him to use rotation. Then all that energy that Iron Fist has in that attack will get absorbed by the rotation and then bounced back right back onto him, essentially hitting him with his own Iron Fist. So again, it's not hard to see someone like Danny winning, but in all honesty, Neji just has better defensive measures than Danny does. And that does count for something here. For example, you have, two people go into a gladiator arena, right? One has a sword and shield. The other one has a spear and a knife. Now, the guy with the spear and knife, or maybe, well, let's use two swords, right? The guy with two swords has better offensive measures, while the guy with the sword and shield has better defensive measures, or he has a balance between defense and offense, okay? Now, yes, Danny does scale. You could say Danny scales higher with the characters that he has, or that the characters that he's using, right? Oh, sorry, the characters that he's faced. Or that the characters that he's faced here. But again, I do think that characters like Kisame and Might Guy would probably be a lot better, or at least a lot more, I would say a lot more dangerous than characters like Luke Cage or Sabretooth here. Not downplaying them, I'm just saying here that the techniques and the powers used here just heavily favor Neji more than Danny. But you might say, oh, well, what if they don't start using their powers and then they go for just a strict hand-to-hand fight, right? Okay, well, in a hand-to-hand fight, Neji, again, is going to apply his pressure point techniques here. Even in a straight-up just hand-to-hand fight, no powers, no abilities, right? Yes, their skill wise, they're considerably close. I would still say Neji holds the edge because of he's more experienced. All right, I do think Naruto characters are more experienced than Marvel characters when it comes to skill, minus that of characters like Shang-Chi, Angela, Gamora, because they have experience and different forms, or if you want to think about different levels of training than some Naruto characters. But when it comes to Danny's technique, it's way too similar to Rock Lee's. It's about bone-crushing, devastating damage, right? While Neji's is just more precise. It's more accurate. It's more, it's more deadly. It's causing internal damage. And even if we say that Neji can't afford to be hit by the Iron Fist, Neji has enough speed and agility to dodge Danny's attacks here and wind up winning the fight with accurate and precise attacks here. So again, I would have to say Neji wins. He has better defensive measures. He has the more deadlier technique. And he has, well, I would definitely have to say he just has kind of every advantage to give him an edge in a hand-to-hand fight. But let me know what you guys think down below. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.